tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Good afternoon. Today we'll be continuing the second part of the Dhamma. Second part means, last time we discussed that there are two types of results, ways of giving results in Dhamma. First is the effects it yields to the present life, the present sphere. Today we'll be discussing about what are the effects of Dhammas to the present sphere and future sphere in terms of giving vipāka. So the last week's lecture we discussed that effects of the karma. That are the, now someone does a bad deed, he will have effects on his bad conduct. Sometimes there will be pleasant effects like earning money, getting favors of the enemies who was slaughtered. At the same time, he will get accusation and sometimes punishment from the government. So these are the effects of the karma, which works only in the present sphere. So now we are talking about the karma which works both in the present and future spheres. Present sphere here means the present life. Future sphere means future lives. So this phenomenon of karma is somewhat mysterious and is not easily understood by ordinary humans. It is beyond the observation scope of human beings. But it is mentioned normally that Petas and the Devas naturally have understanding about their past lives, so they know the functioning of karma by nature, by birth. So they know why they are suffering and also why they are having pleasures because of the past deeds. But for the humans, this understanding has to be gained with effort, with proper contemplation, intellectual analysis. And so these are it's not easy for humans to have this understanding. So with regards to this vipāka, giving vipāka of the karma, the most important, or actually in Buddhist teachings, the most emphasized aspect of giving vipāka is the giving a rebirth. Karma is the reason for beings to be born in a certain abode. So Buddha has mentioned this in Nidana Sutta of Chakkanipata in Anguttara Nikaya. Monks, the beings, the hell beings, petas, animals are seen because of akusala karmas that were begot by lobha, dosa and moha. And also human beings, deities and whoever who are born in the present blissful abodes are seen, can be observed because of the kusala karmas that were begot by alobha, adosa and amoha. And also, more than after the patisandhi is given, karmas also produce vipāka chitta cetasikas and kammaja rupas in a particular life. Vipāka chitta cetasikas and kammaja rupa are also produced by the past karma. So then also there is another functioning of karma in supporting the life, disturbing the life, and also sometimes killing the life. So these are different aspects of karma. It means the first aspect is, the most important aspect is giving patisandhi, then arousing vipāka chitta cetasikas, causing vipāka chitta cetasikas and kammaja rupas to happen. Both of these functions are called janaka kicca. Janaka kicca. Janaka kicca means producing vipāka chitta cetasikas and kammaja rupas. Tomorrow's lectures, I will be talking about these four functions in detail. But for now, we have to understand the karma gives vipāka in four aspects. First is producing a rebirth and vipāka chitta cetasikas and kammaja rupa. Among them, the most important is the rebirth. Right? Is the rebirth. So when the karmas gives the rebirth, after that, during that entire life, is bhavanga chittas, patichuti chitta, and remaining vipāka chittas, kammaja rupas are produced by the same kamma which gave patisandhi and also by different kammas. So then after all, also some kammas support the existing life after rebirth is given. This function is called upattambaka. Upattambaka kicca. You can call it upattambana kicca also, but it is still okay, upattambaka kicca. It means supporting the life which was brought by another kamma. Some kammas disturbs the life. That is called upapilaka. Upapilaka kicca. So sometimes the life can be destroyed by another kamma. It's called upagataka. These four types, these are the four ways a kamma can give result. Normally a kamma can give result in these four ways to its doer. At the end of the next lecture we will discuss there are some effects for the other people also of kammas. It means when the doer is getting certain results, whoever is connected with him, relatives, ones who lives together with him in the same village, maybe the same house, same area, they also can get affected. That we'll discuss at the end of the next lecture. Next lecture means the following lecture. But for now we have to keep in mind, when kamma gives vipāka, it gives vipāka in four ways. These are the four ways. Producing patisandhi, it means producing vipāka chitta cetasikas and kammajarukas at the patisandhi moment and during the pavati. Among them the patisandhi is the most important. Then kammas can support a particular being's life. It can disturb the being's life, and sometimes it can kill the being's life. So likewise, the kamma performs the vipākas in four ways. Kamma performs the vipākas in four aspects. Right? So then, normally in Abhidhamma point of view, we say the term vipāka is used only to the resultant mentalities and concomitants. But when you look into the literature of the tradition, we find all these four aspects of giving results, supporting, destructing, disturbing, all are explained as vipāka. Right? That's why we say, for example, kamma vipāka ja abada. So kamma vipāka ja abada means at that time a certain unpleasant or disturbing utuja rupas happen in our body. When we say, for example, a cancer or a virus, these are all utuja rupa. They are never kammaja rupas, but they are produced by a upapilaka kamma or an upagataka kamma. Upagataka kamma, when it produces upagataka kamma, it most probably kills our life. Upapilaka kamma, it disturbs our life, but if it is not properly handled or cured, it can kill our life. So likewise, sickness is always a utuja rupa, but it is caused, sometimes this sickness can be caused by kamma. So that is the functioning of upapilaka, not janaka. In the literature, it is addressed as kamma vipāka ja abada. The diseases caused through a kamma vipāka. So therefore, even though in Abhidhamma terminologies, we use the term vipāka only for the resultant mentalities and concomitants, chittas and cetasikas, we have to keep in mind the term kamma vipāka has been used when the kamma is performing whatever four functions out of the four. So therefore, I will be using the term vipāka in general, right, despite what type of function it gives. Another thing that I will be discussing next week, when we talk about the ditta dhamma vedaniya, upapajja vedaniya, aparaparya vedaniya, ahosi kammas, right? In Abhidhamma perspective, we would say that according to the Abhidhamma, the first javana is ditta dhamma vedaniya. This is the Abhidhamma analysis for janaka kamma only. So when it comes to upattambaka, upapilaka, upagataka, there is no necessity of counting which number of javana it is. Any chitta can give effects like support the being, disturb the being, destruct his life. All the 7 javanas in that very life. So therefore, sometimes when we study in the Abhidhamma perspective, our terminologies will have very confined meanings, but when we go into the vast literature, the terms have been used in a broader sense. For example, we say in Abhidhamma, Hetu is used only for Lobha Dosa Moha, Alobha Dosa Moha, mostly. But the word Hetu is widely being used for the meaning of causes in Suttanta literature. So likewise, the term vipāka in our literature has been used commonly to whatever results the karma gives in terms of the second type of resulting. So I'll be using the term vipāka not only for the vipāka citta cetasikas, whatever effects it brings, not in the first aspect but the second aspect that we are going to discuss today, which is the mysterious type of aspect. So how to understand this aspect is a different story. How to understand this phenomenon is a different story. Someone gets fully direct experience about this when you attain the wisdom called Chutupapata Jnana. Chutupapata Jnana, if you don't think about the seven abhinyas, you will not find this as Chutupapata Jnana. But if you remember the Buddha's 3 attainments under the Bodhi tree, he attained Pubbē Nivāsa, Chutupapata, and then Asavakkaya. Chutupapata means it's a combination of Dibbacakku and Yathakammupaga Jnana, and also we can say Anagatansa Jnana, right? Also 3 of them. So when they are connected, what does mean Chutupapata mean? Dibbacakku, by Dibbacakku you can observe whatever thing which is far beyond our physical sight. But Chutupapata is, he's only observing the beings who died and born. Normally it says Chutupapata Jnana, he observed the beings who passed away before 7 days his enlightenment, and also 7 days after his enlightenment. So normally even though we say Chutupapata Jnana, it's a combination, it's an aspect of Dibbacakku. So he observes the being where he will be born, and he understands where he was born. Even after being died, he observes, the Buddha or a meditator observe where is he born. Then he sees the particular being in a certain realm. Then he considers what sort of karma caused his rebirth. Then the karma appears to him. So likewise, this wisdom gives a very confident understanding to the yogi that karma is functioning clearly. But he cannot see how it happens. The commentary says, even the Buddha, there's nothing just moving like karma and vipāka. So what the Buddha does, he contemplates where this being is born. So for example, he considers for an instant, he tells about the Anathapindika. Then he contemplates a place, where is he born after his death. Then he sees a deity as I remember Tavatinsa realm, right? Tavatinsa Tusitai forward. So in a certain realm, he sees a deity. So, right? Tusita realm. But this is Tusita realm. He sees a deity. Then he gets the confidence that this is the same person. So the commentary says how he knows it. That is the Anubhava. That is the ability of a Dibbacakku. That is the ability of, and he gets the confidence. How to verify this? If someone has a problem, someone wants to analyze, when many yogis who have possessed Dibbacakku observe the Anathapindika, they will see the same result. So then we can verify this observation is correct. If it is just an imagination, different people will see different side of beings. So that then we can say the accuracy is not accurate kind of observation. So then the Buddha contemplates what is the karma that person has done. Then he sees a certain karma which he did to be born in that realm. So likewise, when someone attains these abhinyanas, he is able to observe the happening of karma and vipāka. Then with the Pubbē Nivāsanussati Jnana, one can understand how his past rebirths happens. So in this observation, he knows what are the karmas which caused his rebirth. So, I have been living such a way, because if you remember the Pali sentence, Pali term, it says, I have been living in such a manner, having such kind of pleasures, having such kind of food. Food means all the luxuries and all these. and then it's the word says food. Then evamaharo, right? So then then he, because of these kammas, he was born in a particular realm, right? He was born in a particular realm. So then with that also one understands the kamma and its effect. That is called Pubbe Nivasanusati Jnana. Right? With the Pubbe Nivasanusati Jnana, he understands, the yogi understands what sort of the kamma is happening. If you look at the Pubbe Nivasanusati explanation given by the Buddha, he mentioned, I have been in such a form, such a manner, having such kind of experiences, and he gives Eva Mahara. I'm not sure what is the meaning of this word Eva Mahara, but anyway, it's like what kind of things that he experienced in the past life, and also he understands the kamma which gave the rebirth. And in the vipassana practice, if someone accomplishes the kanka vitarana visuddhi, he understands the functioning of rebirth, and there will be no doubts for him about the functioning of the second aspect of kamma vipāka. He doesn't need to observe the past life for that. He understands. Doubts will be clarified to him. Then there is another wisdom called thana jnana. When someone has either gained the understanding about kamma vipāka, either through abhiññāna, either through by attaining kanka vitarana visuddhi, or with intellectual analysis of studies and proper thinking, that he understands that the kusala kammas can give only good results, akusala kammas can give only bad results. This wisdom is called thana jnana. It is the possibilities and impossibilities. Then there is another type of a wisdom called knowing the term is given in some books, the wisdom which understands the kamma vipāka pertaining to all three times. It means how the kamma gives results and what are the necessary conditions for these kamma vipākas. Kamma samadhana, the term goes, kamma samadhana. So, kamma samadhana pertaining to all three times. So, this wisdom is is the second wisdom among the 10 powers the Buddha possessed. It means out of the dasabalanya. So, with this wisdom, the Buddha is able to know what are the necessary what are the conditions which supports for kusala kammas to give good results and akusala kammas to give bad results, and what are the conditions which suppress, which prevent certain akusala kammas from giving bad results and certain kusala kammas from giving good results. So, and also it is mentioned in the Samyutta Nikaya, Venerable Anuruddha says that he also possessed these dasabala jnana to a certain, because he has practiced satipatthana. The commentary states that dasabala jnana, even the indriya parapariyate jnana, can be attained by a savaka to a certain extent, but not in its full level. The commentary states that the Honorable Anuruddha claims himself that he has attained the indriya parapariyate jnana even. But the commentary states that this is a savaka, so he attains the level only to a certain extent, not in complete level. So this gives another aspect for you to think. What are the wisdoms, how they are possessed by Buddhas and savakas, right? I have given you the references with the page numbers. Then so these are regarding the wisdom of understanding the kamma and vipāka. Then the nature of resultant of this type of kamma is fixed. Thus the Buddha has uttered the phenomenon. For last time we mentioned that the effects of the kamma, which only kamma's effects, which only works in the present sphere, only works to the present life. It means effects of the kamma. This is not fixed, the nature. It means kusala kammas can give pleasant effects, unpleasant effects. Akusala kammas can give pleasant and unpleasant, but also we mention how to manage them. It doesn't mean that even though the akusala kammas give pleasant effects, we are not supposed to follow them. Even the certain kusala kammas give certain hardship, it doesn't mean that we are not supposed to follow them. So likewise, but in the present sphere, the karmas, effects which are only confined to the present life, have miscellaneous effects. But when you come to the second aspect of karma, this giving vipāka, it has a fixed phenomenon. Buddha mentioned that it is impossible that a karma of a kusala karma would give bad results and akusala karma would give a good result. So this is mentioned in the sutta by himself. If I read the quotation, he understands, he means a monk, or a yogi who practices. It is impossible, it cannot happen that a wished for, a desired, agreeable result could be produced from bodily misconduct, from verbal misconduct, from mental misconduct. There is no such possibility. And he understands it is possible that an unwished for, desired, disagreeable result might be produced from bodily misconduct, from verbal misconduct, from mental misconduct. There is such a possibility. He understands it is possible. It is impossible. Please change it. It is impossible. It cannot happen that an unwished for, undesired, disagreeable result could be produced from good bodily conduct, from good verbal conduct, from good mental conduct. There is no such possibility. And he understands it is possible that a wished for, desired, agreeable result might be produced from good bodily conduct, from good verbal conduct, from good mental conduct. There is such a possibility. So this is a very strong statement that he mentioned, that akusala karmas cannot bring pleasant results and kusala karmas cannot bring unpleasant results. According to the Buddha, an unwholesome physical, verbal and mental deed will only bring unpleasant results in future. It means in both present and future lives. In terms of vipāka, not in terms of effects, not in terms of anisansa or adinava, and never pleasant results. On the other hand, wholesome physical, verbal and mental deeds will only bring pleasant results in future, in both present and future lives, and never unpleasant results. Right? So this is a very important aspect of the teaching. To gain deeper understanding about the second type of functioning of karma, it is useful to be clear with the theory of the functioning of karma as explained within the tradition of Theravāda. So it is very important that we understand how this karma has been explained within the tradition of Theravāda. Before I go to the explanation, if you have any questions. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Bhante is asking about Jatisara Jnana. Jatis is a good question. Jatisara Jnana. Jatisara Jnana, I think we mentioned this in the lesson of Amoha. Jatisara Jnana is the ability of a being to recall the past lives even without attaining spiritual progress. Right? This is Jatisara Jnana. Sometimes this is possessed normally by devas and pretas by birth. But sometimes humans also, from the very young age, while we are in the mother's womb, every human could recall their past lives. But the memory gradually fades away while we are getting out of the mother's womb and while we are getting older. The memory starts to get fade away gradually. But for some, the memory remains. So therefore, they could recall the past. For them also, normally they remember there is a past rebirth. But it is very rare that they will remember this is the karma which gave them the rebirth. They will remember the past life. But I don't know whether they could remember the reason why they are born in this life. If they can recall their past experience, death experience, near-death experience, they might be able to recall what was the karma. Which, for example, while before dying they remember certain thing. So if they can recall that during their Jatisara Jnana, maybe they will be able to say what sort of karma which gave them the Patisana. Possibility is there. And sometimes the Jatisara Jnana has occurred suddenly when the person has grown up. If you remember the story mentioned in Dhammapada Katha about the hen, right? About the hen. Hen means Heshive. The hen during the Buddha's time was born in India in a rich man's family. When the Thera, when a Thera who came for Pindapata said something, having heard what the Thera said, she got suddenly, it's mentioned, she got suddenly recall his past life. So the Jatisara Jnana can suddenly also occur to beings while they have grown up, right? So Jatisara Jnana mostly makes us to remember the past life, not the past karma which gave the result, but if they can remember the past life near close death experience, they may be able to say what sort of a karma which gave the result, right? So yeah, now we'll move into this functioning of karma. What sort of a function has been explained in the Theravāda tradition about this happening of karma? It is very important that this karma is clearly understood. So normally, if you remember, in the first lecture for the karma, we mentioned there are 22 mentalities that can be called, that can be termed as the karma. There are 22 mentalities. So they were the virati, chetana, three virati, bujjanga, maggangas, and then we had alobha, dosa, moha, lobha, dosa, ditti, right? Ditti. Virati is repeated 2 places in the magganga also. So when we take virati only one time, we have the 22 dhammas. So these 22 dhammas we normally call karma. Karma is we use the term. Then also, if you remember, most of you have done the BAB, Tikamatikas. So in those lessons we study about a terminology called vipāka dhamma dhamma. Vipāka dhamma dhamma means the realities which can give vipākas, which has the ability to produce vipākas. What were the ultimate realities did we count? When we say vipāka dhamma dhamma, we count all kusala and akusala dhammas. We only didn't take only chetana, we took all the 21 kusalas, lokiya, lokuttara, kusala chitta. They are associated 38 chetasikas. 12 akusala chittas, they are associated 27 chetasikas. Collectively we say kusala akusala chittas 21 and 12 and associated 52 chetasikas. They are all called vipāka dhamma. According to the definition, they all can produce vipākas. They all can produce vipāka chitta chetasikas, vipāka dhammas. But if you go into Patthana, the Kamma-pacchaya, Nana-kanika Kamma-pacchaya, which gives results in future, only one Chetasika has been enumerated, that is Chetana. So when we are dealing with Kamma, we have 3 realities. When we are talking about Kamma, sometimes we have 22 mentalities. Chetana also is included there collectively. Then we have 21, which is called vipāka dhamma dhamma. Vipāka dhamma dhamma. We call it Nana-kanika Kamma-pacchaya. These we have 22 mentalities. So this Nana-kanika Kamma-pacchaya is Chetana. It's kusala akusala chetana. Kusala akusala chetana. So according to the tradition, they all can be termed as karma accordingly. So 22 mentalities we discuss in detail how they are called karma in the tradition. Then these vipāka dhamma dhammas, they also facilitates the vipākas. Facilitates means they also shape the vipākas. For example, we normally say, if we do if you want to have a three-rooted ribbon, Tihetuka Patisandhi, what sort of a kamma that we should do? We have to do Tihetuka Ukutta kamma. If we do a Tihetuka kamma, we will have either a Tihetuka Patisandhi or an Ahetuka Patisandhi. So, what is the difference of these kammas, Tihetuka and Duhetuka? Presence and absence of wisdom, and also to become Ukutta and Ovaka, the surrounding, the nature of the mentalities, before and after. So it shows that the wisdom, for example, Panya, wisdom which arises together with Chetana, has a great influence to decide the nature of the vipāka. So that is why, even though Chetana, only Chetana can have the ability, the Kamma Paccaya Sati, according to Patthana, all the associated mentalities, kusala mentalities, are taken as vipāka dhamma because they have an influence to the vipākas the Chetana produce. Right? They have an influence to the vipāka the Chetana produce. You can verify this by the Tihetuka Patisandhi and Duhetuka Patisandhi. Tihetuka Patisandhi and Duhetuka Patisandhi is not decided because of the nature of Chetana. It is decided because of the presence and absence of wisdom. So it means Panya also has contributed to the nature of the vipāka. Panya doesn't have the ability to bring up the vipāka. It doesn't have that of the Kamma Paccaya Sati. So only Chetana has this ability. But wisdom, presence of wisdom has influenced the Chetana to bring a certain type of vipāka. And that absence of wisdom doesn't make the Chetana Chetana becomes weaker to produce a Tihetuka Patisandhi. So the Chetana is affected by this presence and absence of these certain Chetasikas. So it determines the nature of the vipāka. So that is why all kusala mentalities, including the chitta, is taken as vipāka dhamma. Right? Not only Chetana. And also we can find in Dhamma Sangani, we talk about Acaya Gamino Dhamma, Apacaya Gamino Dhamma. If you take Acaya Gamino Dhamma, actually it should only be Chetana, but we take the entire mentalities. Apacaya Gamino Dhamma should be the eight path factors in the Noble Truth, but we take the entire mentalities. So it also can be said in Dhamma Sangani, we not only go to the specific mentalities which deserves the designation. We collectively, the associated mentalities also we count in that sense. So there's another, we can explain it in that manner also. But it's also evident that the associated mentalities do has an effect. And also Chetana alone cannot produce the vipāka. But Chetana cannot arise without the associated mentalities. For the Chetana to produce a vipāka, it also needs the support of the associated mentality. So they also contribute to the vipākas. So that's why all the kusala chitta chitasikas are taken as vipāka dhamma. Then when we come to Patthana, the Chetana only, the kusala Chetana has the ability to produce vipāka chitta chetasikas and kammaja rupa. Then how it is explained in our tradition. This is very important. So this, now when we are going to explain, this topic will extend to the next lecture as well. This lecture we are going to do today. So there are some terminologies I will be explaining in the next lecture, following lecture. So now we'll just have a brief explanation how the kamma is functioning according to our tradition. So now we say Chetana, now we only take the Chetana. Right? We are not taking about the remaining 22 mentalities or vipāka dhamma. We are exclusively focusing at the Chetana because it is the mentality which has the ability of bringing up vipāka chitta chesikas and kamma. Now a person is doing a kamma. So at that time, Chetana plus mentalities, chitta, chetasikas arise, pass away. Right. Chetana arises and passes away. And is living. So according to tradition, this Chetana, when it arises and passes away, for example, if you say Chetana, arise and pass away, it is a karma, certain karma. So also, if you remember the last week we mentioned, there are two types of karmas. Karmas done in a mental stream in which latent tendencies are still remaining. Karmas done in a mental stream where latent tendencies are uprooted. The karmas of arahants. Karmas, I mentioned, karmas of arahants only have effects of the present life. It doesn't have effects of the future sphere. Right? Because if you look into the Sunakkata Sutta, Buddha mentioned even arahants have to be careful. Otherwise they may get certain difficulties. So their karma, they have to consider about their actions. So, but in terms of the second type of vipāka, only the karmas, javana chetanas, javana mentalities which appear in a mind stream where latent tendency is not uprooted, it means of non-arahants, can give this certain type of vipāka. So now we are talking about a mind stream where avijja and tanha is not uprooted. So when because of this avijja and tanha, especially avijja, because of this avijja and tanha, what happened? The kusala akusala mentalities has an extra effort in dealing with the object. They have an extra sort of they taste the object more higher, and also their efforts are more higher than that. Efforts means the mind involvement of the mind in the action is more higher than the arahants because of the presence of these latent tendencies. We call it vipallasa. This we will be elaborate. You find this information because there is a term called bhutva apakata uppan. If you are, because I will not be able to explain these terms according to the time we have left, what we have left. Bhutva apakata uppan. Bhutva apagata uppanna has two meanings according to the tradition. One is anubhutva apagata uppanna. Without the prefix also, it can have the meaning of the prefix. Anubhutva apagata uppanna. Anubhutva apagata uppanna means the mentalities which have passed away, having tasted the flavor in a higher level. The tradition recognizes only the vipāka, kusala mentalities as bhutva apagata uppanna. Even the kiriya chittas and vipāka chittas do experience the flavor of an object. They don't fall into this category of having tasted, having felt the flavor, because even though they do taste the flavor, the tasting of the kusala chittas, kusala mentalities is higher than that of a arahant or a vipāka chitta cetasika because of the effect of latent tendencies. So therefore, Buddha mentions one who has not understood the truth would put effort, sankhara abhisankharam. So it means there is a certain inbuilt effort of the mind to do certain actions. When our tendencies are not removed, there is an extra sort of effort, activation within our mind, which is not present in the arahant's mind stream. It doesn't mean that we are more effortful than arahant. Don't misunderstand this with virya. This means our minds get involved with the objects more in a higher level, more than that of an arahant. So that is what is the reason we create certain karmas, even though we don't wish for it. Whatever actions we do, we leave a certain potency. The effect is produced by these latent defilements. When they are not removed, our mind gets involved in the object more in an active way than that of a arahant. So what happens? Not with the object, in whatever actions we do. In whatever actions we do. Because of our ignorance, because of our attachment to this life, because of our hallucinations regarding ourselves. So that when we do certain actions, our emotions do affect them. So unconsciously, we are grasping ourselves, we are holding to certain thought, emotions. So unconsciously our mind is involved in them. Sometimes, for example, we say our childhood experiences have modified our certain thought patterns, certain fears, emotions. It happens unconsciously or subconsciously. So likewise, this anusaya, effect of the anusaya, can be seen to our mind even we are being not aware of that. We can distinguish this difference when we measure our level of the mind, activation of the mind against the mind of an arahant whose mind is fully serene because of the absence of these effects of these defilements. So what happens? Now the chetana arises and passes away. Someone is doing a certain action. These chetanas would leave, when they pass away, arise and pass away, completely pass away, they would leave a certain imprint of their actions. This imprint is called kamma sati. We can call it nanakanika kamma sati, nanakanika kamma pacce sati, right? Whatever terms it is, kamma sati. This kamma sati has been recognized by the literature. Even it has been recognized by the Buddha in a I would call an explicit manner, but we can find the information in the text. We will discuss this later. A certain kamma sati is left. I will give a detailed explanation in the next lecture about this kamma sati. This kamma sati is the manner in which the kamma, chetana, did the action. The manner. Why it is implanted? Because of the extra arranging effort of the chetana. It means our mind is involved in the actions more higher, more intensely or more actively than that of arahants because of the effects of the unconscious effect of this defilements. So this kamma sati will be left within our mind stream. Then what happens? This kamma sati, so I'll write lower, avijja and tanha, right? Avijja and tanha. So this kamma sati would follow. Follow means would be within our mind stream. So when sometimes this kamma sati would get an opportunity to give results. This is called opportunity. When the opportunity is given at that time, we call this kamma sati. Actually, even though it's a kamma sati, we address this word with the term of kamma. You can see in the literature, Buddha has addressed this kamma sati as kamma. Buddha said the kamma will follow you, like the fire under ashes. He said the kamma will follow. So what does it mean, the kamma will follow? There is a certain potency remaining in our lives, mind stream, that could bring results in future. So Buddha has mentioned that there is a certain kind of effect is following you after you have done the kamma. The suffering will follow you, happiness will follow you, kamma will follow you. He has used all these three terminologies in direct teachings. So this kamma sati, even though we recognize it as a different kind of as an energy which is left by the kamma itself, we don't distinguish it as a separate ultimate entity, our tradition. It's a one stage of the kamma. This is the ability of, according to Lady Sayadaw, this is the manner in which the kamma was done. And all the attributes which are found here can be found in the kamma sati. That is why, if someone does for example, if someone kills someone beheading, removing and cutting his head, so as a result, he will face a similar result. The thing is, all the manners of this kamma, kāyika, vācasika, or physical, verbal, mental attributes, which were there while the kamma was being done, are found in this kamma sati. Then at a certain time, it gets an opportunity to give them. At that time, we call that same kamma, we call it okasa kata kamma. Or we also can say laddo kasa kamma. Laddo kasa kamma. The opportunity is given. How do you think that, how the kamma gets the opportunity? I'll be explaining in the next lecture. What are the ways the kamma gets the opportunity? So the kamma gets the opportunity. So if this opportunity is not prevented, what happens? This kamma will arise as a vipāka. Will arise as a vipāka citta cetasikas. Right? And also it would produce the kammaja rupas. Causing of kammaja rupas. So this is how the process of kamma works. A chetana happens. So this chetana is also twofold. We normally call this ayuna and chetana. Ayuna is the arranging that we do prepare for a kamma. Chetana is the accomplishing task of the kamma. So they all get planted in our mind stream, and they will follow the mind stream as long as, we attain the parinibbana. And then when it gets the okas opportunity, it will appear as vipāka citta cetasikas and kammaja rupas. So that is how normally the kamma works. This is how the kamma works. But this is the basic structure formula of a kamma. Why this is implanted? Because of the remaining avidya and because the chetana had an extra involvement in the action. Why is that? Because our latent defilements are not rooted. So unconsciously, it affects our mind stream. So our activation, involvement in a certain deed is more different, higher than that of arahant. So it leaves a certain kind of energy. And also we can say our craving to live, the wish to live, will also leave some sort of energy there. So I will be explaining them at the end of the kamma lectures. What is the relationship between avidya and tanha to this kamma? Right? Avidya and tanha to this kamma. So this is the normal structure, how the Theravādins would explain the working of kamma. But when we go into the suttas, into the literature, we find the kamma's relationship with our life is mostly explained with regard to the rebirth. That is a very important point. With regard to the rebirth. So with regard to the rebirth, the process has been explained with different terminologies. I'll repeat again. With regard to the rebirth, the process has been explained with different terminologies. So normally we say a chetana arises and it leaves the kamma force, and when it gets the opportunity, it gets ripened. Now with regard to the rebirth, in the same diagram if we show, think this is a kamma, that is a kamma pata, for example. If this is a kamma pata. Kamma pata means a complete kamma which can give rebirth and also pavatti vipāka. Kamma pata is a complete kamma, right? Complete kamma. We'll discuss this when we come to the tomorrow's lecture. We will have a brief explanation what is kamma, but not a detailed explanation. Right? Kamma pata. Now think this is a kamma pata. If this is kamma pata, if we consider this is the chetana which accomplishes the action, it means someone plans to kill a being, gathers the equipment and then kills it. So the killing happens in this that we consider. This is called Chetana. This is called Ayuhana. Ayuhana means arranging. Ayuhana. Ayuhana and Chetana. So when Ayuhana and Chetana, how to say, Ayuhana, okay, I'll use the terms directly without making it. Next lecture I'll explain the terminologies in detail, but for the time being I'll use the term. So this is called Chetana Samangita. This is called Ayuhana Samangita. Ayuhana Samangita. Chetana Samangita. So this is the Chetana which did the action, did the one which arranged the action. So now we are talking about a rebirth. Please keep it in mind. Before, the previous diagram was generally for whatever karma. This is generally for whatever karma. Whether it is Patisandhi, Pavatti, giving Pavatti vipāka, or giving support, disturbing the life, killing the life, whatever it is. Generally that is the functioning of karma. So now, with regard to the rebirth, it has to be a karma pata normally. So karma pata normally have two aspects. You arrange something, you arrange for the karma, get prepared for the karma, and do the karma. Right? So then what happens? The energy, there will be an energy implanted in the karma sati itself, but that karma sati is specifically mentioned as karma samangita. Right? Long E becomes short because of the ta suffix. Right? Samangita. So these they will remain. This Chetana Samangita and Karma Samangita will implant a certain force, energy. This will follow till. Now there's one thing to mention. This Karma Sati, I'm talking about a very advanced topic according to tradition. This Karma Sati will follow till we attain the final Parinibbana. Till we attain the final Parinibbana. Because even after being Arahant, still Arahants get results. But now what is written in red color, I mentioned, is exclusively, right? If I go, the opportunity was, what is written in red color is exclusive for Patisandhi. Is exclusively for Patisandhi. So now, the Patisandhi, the Karma Samangita which is able to give a Patisandhi follows the being. What it is? Till the Parinibbana or till attainment of Arahantship. Till attainment of Arahantship. That is a difference. When we say Karma Sati in general, it will follow us till the Parinibbana. But when we say Karma Samangita means the force implanted by a karma which has the ability to give a rebirth. So that we are talking about two things at the same time. We are generally talking about the karma which can give a rebirth or whatever effect. And now we are talking about a karma which can give a rebirth. We are only specifically focusing on that aspect. So when we talk about the energy which can give a rebirth, we call it Karma Samangita. When we talk about the karma force in general, we call it Karma Sati. We don't call it, it's better not to call it Karma Samangita. Karma Samangita is for the rebirth. I'll prove this notion in the next lecture. How this terminology is introduced into the commentary, under which sutta. Right? So just keep it in mind, this is only for Patisandhi. Because the thing is, karma, when Buddha explains karma, the Patisandhi, as giving Patisandhi is a very important aspect. That is the reason. So now Karma Samangita will follow us till we attain the Arahantship. As soon as Arahantship is attained, Karma Samangita is no more valid. It cannot be called Karma Samangita anymore. Because it cannot give a Karma Sati cannot give it. Karma Samangita is also a Karma Sati. Karma Sati is the common word. Right? Karma Sati can be used for karmas which can give Patisandhi, which cannot give Patisandhi, which has already given Patisandhi, whatever it is, which has the ability to affect our lives. Kamma samangikata is only the karma force which can give a patisandhi. After it has given a patisandhi, it should not be called kamma samangita. After attaining arahantship, this karma force should not be called kamma samangita. That is why these are very, otherwise without this understanding, when we read the literature, sometimes we can have confusions. So please keep in mind, kamma samangita is only for the karma force that can give rebirth. So then what happens? This kamma samangita would follow our life, follow our mind stream. It will give pavati vipāka, it can give supporting vipāka, it can give disturbing vipāka, it can kill the life. So these are not, in this aspect, still the kamma samangita remains. It will remain as long as it gives a rebirth, till we attain the arahantship. That is the point. So then, for example, think, now this gets an opportunity to give life, give a rebirth. For example, if we think this is the moment we are dying, the death, right? So this gets an opportunity, this force gets an opportunity. Normally, when the kamma is gaining opportunity, we call it okasakata kamma or landokasa kamma. Right? For whatever kamma, whether it's patisandhi or pavati, normally it is called okasakata kamma. But with regard to the patisandhi, when the opportunity is given, we also use a specific term called upatthana samangita. Upatthana samangita. Upatthana samangita. So when upatthana samangita, what does it mean? At that time, the person who, because upatthana samangita can be found only in non-arahants. Kamma samangita can be found only in non-arahants. Right? So upatthana samangita, when it is presented, one of the three signs will appear to the yogi, or to the being. One of the three signs will appear. Then, when it gives a rebirth as patisandhi, and bhavanga, till Chuti, and also whatever vipāka citta, by this kamma, particular kamma which gave the rebirth. They all of them, which is written in red color, are called vipāka samangita. Right? Vipāka samangita. So what I wrote in the red color is regarding a kamma which gives the rebirth. It's a very important aspect. That should be very clear. Otherwise, right? So this is, so if I repeat again, a normal kamma implants a certain energy, that is called kamma sandhi. It gets the opportunity, okasa, landokasa kamma, at the time we call it, and it brings out with vipāka. Right? That is the normal functioning of karma. So sometimes this, if I more clearer, sorry. So it brings vipāka citta cetaka and kammaja rupa accordingly when the opportunity is gained. But with regard to the kamma which can give patisandhi, a kamma became kammapata, it also implants a certain force which is also kamma saddhi, but specifically we call it kamma samangita, and it will follow our mind stream till arahantship because the ability of giving patisandhi is still there. When the opportunity is given, this kamma is called upattana samangita. At that time, any of the three signs will appear to us, and then it will appear as vipāka citta cetasikas, as a one life throughout the entire life. That is called vipāka samangita. Vipāka samangita means vipāka citta cetasikas which are produced in that particular life of that in that particular life which was produced by that certain kamma. So after that, this kamma force, kamma samangita or kamma sati, it can still give results after that, but that force is not addressed as kamma samangita. So what I want to say is, this is regarding a one kamma which can give a rebirth. This kamma can give pavati vipāka in next life, patammana, upilaka, upaghataka vipākas in the future lives. So that force still remains, but that is not addressed as the kamma samangita. So this, what is written in the red color, is specifically for a kamma which gives patisandhi. What is written in black color is the general way of functioning of kamma. So the thing is, what we want to understand, cetana, kamma cetana, leave a certain imprint of the manner in which they perform the kamma, and that force, the manner, would produce, when they get the opportunity, it would produce vipāka citta cetasikas, and also cause the kammaja rupas to happen when the suitable conditions are there. So this is the functioning of kamma, theoretically, metaphysically explained according to the Buddhist tradition. So if I read the last paragraph before concluding this lecture, 10.17, as stated above, only a kamma which arises in a mind stream of which latent defilements are not eradicated, sanusaya santajani upajjanaka kamma, can perform the second type of function in bringing vipāka in both present and future spheres. Javana cetana of a non-arahant is termed as cetana samangita and ayuhana samangita. Due to the effect of the latent prevailing craving, the cetana of such javana chittas, when passing away, does not disappear completely. A certain kind of a nature, kiriya visesa, connected with those chetanas happens to remain within the mind stream. This nature could be termed as a force or energy. It is called the kamma sati, kamma pacce sati or nanakanika kamma pacce sati. If the kamma is strong enough to bring a patisandhi, this force is termed as kamma samangita. In the Theravāda tradition, this nature is not recognized or considered as a separate ultimate entity like citta, cetasika or rupa. However, it is still considered as a force or energy that ultimately exists. Paramatta Jatika, hence we call it. Kamma Sati, when supporting conditions have gathered, gets activated to bring forth results. When a non-arahant is about to die, this force which got activated is addressed as Upattana Samangita. Near-death signs, kamma, kamma nimitta and gati nimitta are brought to the mind by the kamma force that got so activated. When a kamma is about to yield its results during the course of life, pavatti kala, this force is addressed as okasakata kamma or laddokasa kamma. Sorry, there's a two reading mistake. Okasakata kamma or laddokasa kamma. Right? Okasakata kamma or laddokasa kamma. These stages of kamma, right? Laddokasa kamma. Sorry for that mistake. Then, this is a very important point. These stages of kamma, that is to say, kamma sati, kamma samangita, upattana samangita, okasakata kamma, in most of the occasions is addressed with the term kamma or purana kamma itself. When the Buddha mentioned that karma will follow the beings in the round of rebirth, he was referring to this karmic force, but with the term karma. Then if the so activated, then we come back to the formula again. If the so activated karmic force is not interrupted by any other means, that energy arises as separate ultimate entities called vipāka. They are the vipāka chitta cetasikas, 36 vipāka chittas and the associated 38 cetasikas. Vipāka chitta cetasikas which arise in a particular and which are produced by the same karma, which arise in a particular life. Vipāka chitta cetasikas which arise in a particular life and which are produced by the same karma that gave the rebirth patisandhi are called vipāka samangita. That sentence is not very isolated, but the idea is if a certain karma gives life patisandhi, whatever vipāka chitta cetasikas which are caused by that very same karma which gave the rebirth are called karma samangita. Karma Sakti can also cause the arising of Kammaja as well. Moreover, this same karmic force performs the remaining threefold functions as well. Upatambaka kicca, upapilaka kicca, and upagataka kicca. Now this is a very brief, but lots of information was given in this paragraph. Although 22 mentalities were mentioned as karma, only Chetana which arises Javana Chittas is mind streams with latent defiling tendencies is capable of producing vipāka chitta cetasikas and kammaja rupas directly. That is why only kusala chetana is termed as nana kandika kamma paccaya vipāka. The remaining mentalities which are called kusala kammas and akusala kammas, remaining mentalities and all the remaining mentalities which are called kusala kamma and akusala kammas, we mentioned in the last lecture, the 22 mentalities, and all the mentalities which arise kusala chittupada and akusala chittupada except chetana, right? Please write that, except chetana, right? Except chetana, only support the chetana in producing the vipākas. They do not have the nana kamika kamma paccaya sakti to produce resultants directly. So here we take the chetana only when we come to the explanation of phenomenon of karma. Right? So this is the lecture I want to do for the first today's first lecture. If you have any questions, okay, we'll do the in 15 minutes. We'll do the other.